Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. So today we are going to talk about JavaScript. We are going to live code JavaScript, and we are going to talk about Unicode and emoji and font. Some technical issues about Unicode and font. So let's start quickly. So I'm using Emacs. I'm using Sapphire keys. And on the pink window, you can see all my Emacs command calls, such as move cursor or the keystrokes. You can also see it on the pink window. Basically, every Emacs command I call, it will show up there. And today is 2021, November 19th. Yeah. So okay, so let's focus on what we are gonna do. Pretty much technical, okay? So if you have questions and comments, post it, okay? So let me check one more time. I'm doing a live. I'm video check, audio check. Okay, good to go. So this is my keyboard. This is Kinesis Advantage 2, and this is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard, and this is Logitech 504 or something, 502. Fantastic, with a spin wheel. I demonstrated many times. Okay, let's begin. So do I have a video problem? Concurrent viewers 1. It should be more there. Okay, so so what we're gonna do? So topic JavaScript. Write JavaScript to change font. Symbol versus emoji font. Okay, explain what's going on, and explain the technical Unicode solution, and explain the practical solution, and create a problem from scratch. Demonstrate the effect of font with CSS. Okay, so what is the problem? So first of all, the problem is this. Okay, so hello, good morning, Volodymyr. So the problem is this: some Unicode. Okay, so you can see it. Let me show you where you can see it easily. So Unicode animals, insects, plants, sports, astrology, there. Okay, so you can see this page, Unicode, astrology or astronomy symbols. You see all these colored ones are emoji. They are shown as emoji, but however, some of them are not shown as emoji. For example, this one. For example, this moon, then some of them are not emoji, some of them are. For example, here, planets, you got emoji there, but not this one, and not the others. So why is that? So the reason that happens is because, let's copy that here and let's paste to today's talk show. So we have a record of what we talked about, astrology symbols, okay? So what is going on? So the reason I talked about yesterday is because, so here is the article. So symbols becomes emoji. So around year, I forgot, I don't remember what year, 2010 or maybe somewhere around there, Unicode Consortium, the organization behind Unicode, they decided that they are going to merge emoji with symbols. So for example, arrow, okay, so okay, let's copy this character, okay? Copy left, right arrow, okay? Unicode hexadecimal 2194, okay? Left, right arrow. Let's copy that and let's show that in Emacs. Magnify. So you can see this is the actual symbol. This is not shown as emoji. Okay, so put a cursor here called describe char, and you can see the full detail about the character on this panel. Okay, so let's make it larger. So you can see the code point is 8596, and the hexadecimal is 2194. Okay, and the character name is here, left, right arrow. So let me turn on global highlight mode so you can see where my cursor is. Okay, so this is a character, but sometimes it's shown as emoji, sometimes as a symbol. So let me demonstrate. Okay, so let's create a new page. create a new page, okay, and magnify, and let's say HTML, okay, create a template here. So title will be test Unicode, okay. Copy that title, and here we have a character of Unicode, okay. Now let's put a span, okay, span and style, let's say, okay, font family. So I mean, I'm gonna demonstrate some of the issues here. So font family, so show this in browser, okay, save it. Test, just a random name, okay, save the file. So here is a file, show in browser. You can see there is that Unicode character, okay. Hold on a second. So let's add some, okay, so switch to CSS mod, font family, okay, then, okay, let's go back to XR Talk Show because I want to grab some CSS templates. So why don't we copy that, because that's what we need. Okay, so switch back here. So let's add some CSS, okay. So let's see style, let's see, not style, class, emoji, okay. We are going to show the same file, I mean the same character with different font, okay. Symbol, so one is symbol, one is emoji, different class. So let's create a CSS here, symbol, okay, then the other one is emoji, and the font family is what we need, okay. So font size 2, okay, so this is what it's going to be. Then emoji, so we have two classes, one is symbol, one is emoji. So emoji, we will use the font Circle UI emoji, that's a default Microsoft emoji font, or Apple color emoji, or Noto color emoji. Noto is Google's emoji, okay. Let's say character size 5, font size 5, font size 2. Actually, let's say body, we want everything font size 2, okay, so we don't need this font size confusion. So okay, so body font size 2 REM. REM means the default font size, so twice as large. Then anything class symbol, use the Circle UI symbol or Apple symbol emoji, I mean the font. Then if it's an emoji class, use the emoji font, okay. Now show in browser. So you can see there that the first one is using symbol font. The second one is using emoji font, show in browser. So see, that's a difference. This is very annoying because when you write, when you write mathematics or math or whatever, for example, some of the characters all of a sudden become emoji, and you cannot predict which one it is. For example, if you write a lot of mathematics, arrow, double arrow sign, or summation, and math formula, some of them will become emoji, like colored, dramatic is, that's not good. If you are writing a serious documentation. For example, I'm writing about keyboards, so I'm saying, keyboard has these labels, these icons to indicate multimedia keys. Then next year, when I look at my document again on the web, it suddenly become these, speaker pictures, that's no good. So why does this happen? Because Unicode decided around, I don't remember what year, around 2010, 2012, they decided to merge. They decided not to merge, to have one single character to represent both emoji situation or the symbol situation. They decided to do that, just one single character, because after all, it's the same character. This, for example, this left right arrow, it's the same character. They decided to kind of condense it, just have one symbol representation. So Unicode says, and in practice, this is very bad because it becomes very complex and very confusing. People don't want that. Typically, when you want to use emoji, typically it's used on social media, by often girls, they like this kind of picture stuff. So that's one situation of using emoji. But when you are, mathematician or programmers, usually you don't want emoji. You don't want them mixed. You don't want unpredictability, okay? So this is what happened in Unicode. Unicode consortium, made this decision, and it turns out to be a bad mistake. So that is why when we, for example, when we go to, for example, let me show you, okay? Actually, let's go to this page. I'm explaining what is the problem, okay? So if you look at this page, you scroll down, you see. So Unicode says, so here's a technical detail, what Unicode consortium actually says. Hello, Cortez, thank you. Fantastic, thank you, Cortez. Hello, Andrew. I thought you were going to talking about no. This is gonna be, Unicode and JavaScript today. So let me give you the technical detail of what the Unicode spec, the Unicode consortium says about when should a character be a symbol or when should it be a emoji. So Unicode says that certain characters. Here's what Unicode says, Unicode consortium. They say some characters, they can be both emoji or symbol, okay? Emoji or text, I should say symbol here. So some characters can be both emoji or symbol, but however, they should default to emoji. So if you don't have, you don't say what, if you don't specify what it should be symbol or emoji, then it should default to emoji for a certain group of characters. They can be both. Now, for other group of characters, they can be both emoji or symbol, but they default to text, okay? They default to symbols, okay? Actually, let me show you the difference, okay? So you see I created this JavaScript yesterday, so let me click on that. You can see. Now watch this section, okay? Watch this section. Now I click on symbol. Now you can see this is how they look like. Let's focus on one of them. Let's see the neutral face and the alien face, okay? So you see, now I click on emoji, you see they look different. Now look at this one, snowboarder, okay? Symbol, it looks like that, snowboarder, okay? You can see the emoji version in the pop-up. Okay, so symbol version versus emoji. Let's magnify to see the full glory of these symbol versus emoji thing. See? So this is a problem. So Unicode says some characters can be both, and they, this group of characters, they should default to emoji display. That is, if you just paste the character in text editors or in Twitter or in Discord, according to Unicode consortium, they say, then this group of characters, they should by default displayed as emoji. Now, this group, however, they say they should by default displayed as symbol, okay, this group. So it's very confusing. How the fuck do I know, which character is which? Very confusing and very complex. But this is what the specification says. Okay, then there's another group. This group of characters, they are always emoji. There's no symbol representation. There's no text representation. They are just always emoji. Okay. So that is what the Unicode says. Okay, that's the Unicode specification. And so when you have a character, but you do want to show it as, let's say, emoji or symbol, how do you specify it? According to Unicode Consortium, you specify it by adding a invisible character immediately after that character. And this invisible character is called Unicode variation selector. It's very complex. So there are two of these invisible characters. One is called variation selector 15, and the other one is variation selector 16. So if you have this variation selector 15 invisible character right after one of these emoji or symbol character, then it means by the Unicode spec the application should display that emoji character as symbol. Okay, and likewise for the variation selector 16. So very fucking complex. So if you want the emoji, for example, this alien head, depending on, let's pick something more suitable for writing. For example, this left pointing magnifying glass. It's pretty common. You see that in keyboard. For example, Google Chrome, Google Books, you'll have the caps lock position usually have that symbol. Let me show you. So let's start browsers, xali.info. Hello, money. Hello, money. Volodymyr, thank you very much. So I'm going to go. So you go to Xali keyboard. So here is my keyboard page. You have reviews of all these keyboard, okay, and including the Kinesis I'm using and Automatic Hacking keyboard. There's full review and video review there. So you go to keyboard section, then you go to the laptop section. Let me shrink. So you go to the laptop section, and you have this page on Chromebook keyboards. So this is my documentation of Chrome, Google Chrome keyboard. So you can see on this caps lock location, typical caps lock location, you can see that magnifying glass. Okay, and same thing with the Google Pixel book hardware. You see magnifying glass. And if you are suppose you are writing a documentation, for your corporation industry or whatever, space aerospace industry or whatever, you need to document the keyboard, suppose, and you see this keyboard has many of these symbols. So you don't want your documentation to show them as emoji. That's not suitable, So for example, that's, I'm talking about here. You don't want those symbols to show as emoji. Okay, you are writing for example, documentation of keyboard, which I have done a lot. Let me show you where. So design of computer keyboards, and then design of computer keyboards, computer keys. I talk about each key, and sometimes also their history. Modifier keys, Control, Alt, Windows, where did they come from? Control key, where is it positioned on the keyboard? The menu key, where does it come from? Who invented it? The Alt graph key, Compose key, Det key, what are they? What do they do? And spacebar, why is it so big? Which idiot invented, thought that spacebar should be long, and and so on. So this collection of articles discuss the keys, their history or their optimal placement or their function, what they do, and so on. escape key. Why is it called escape? Where does it come from? Which year? So then you have a section on shortcut notations. For example, this is Apple's documentation of keyboard shortcut keys and the symbol they use for shortcut keys. So if you are a doc writer at Apple, you want these to be symbols. You don't want them like some of them become emoji. So that's my explanation why this is important issue, okay, about the emoji versus symbols. So according to Unicode Consortium, when you want these symbols to to be actually just symbol and not emoji, you need to add a invisible character right after them. So very complex. This one fucked up fact, the Unicode Consortium, in my opinion, they have become corrupted starting around, let's say, early 2010s. They become this standard organization, basically revolving around money. They become not useful. 20, 30 years ago, Unicode is significant to technology, to human animals technology, because they created a encoding system. They created systems so that we can write in any language, any human language in the past or today, even including dead languages, that you can write using a consistent way. So I talked about hieroglyph, Latin, Greek, and Chinese and Japanese and Korean and so on. So for example, let me show some of them. So you have Cyrillic, for example, Russian alphabet. You can write Chinese, with Unicode. Then of course Japanese and Korean and Arabic as well, including other languages such as Ethiopic, the kind of on the African continent, on the east side of African continent. Yeah, there's a map showing you where Ethiopia is. So you can write all these languages and Hindu, Indian languages with Unicode. So 30 years ago, Unicode is a great invention, a significant technology. But today's Unicode, since I would say around 2010, they become kind of corrupt, the organization, Unicode Consortium. So all they do today is basically mostly talking about emoji. Like, oh, we need another emoji character for banana. We already have a banana, but today's Unicode is mostly like that. Some people may not agree, because I've talked to some of the Unicode, I believe, some of the people who either works at Unicode Consortium or deeply doing work with Unicode. For example, Adobe. I know a guy from Adobe. He wrote a book on Unicode. For example, let me show you. Do I still have his picture? No, I removed the. Anyway, so I talked to people who work with Unicode, and they do not necessarily agree. At least some of them do not agree with my view. They would say, oh, Unicode is still important because there are still quite a few languages that doesn't have Unicode representation, like long time dead. Nobody's, dead languages that very, it's only only of interest to a handful of academics, linguistics, So they say, oh, Unicode Consortium is still important because there are still these languages that don't have a Unicode representation yet. Yeah, that's true, but that's a very minor, small academic, community. 1,000 people, So but meanwhile, Unicode today is all talking about just kind of bullshit emoji, and they make the Unicode, they corrupt the Unicode, they make it worse and worse. For example, the issue we are talking about, the emoji suddenly becomes symbol suddenly becoming emoji. That's the problem they created. Unicode created that problem. It probably didn't exist, but they, around 2010 or so, they made it. So that's my criticism of the Unicode consortium. I don't think they are a good organization anymore. Just like most, I would claim, most of the standard technical organization bodies, they became corrupt. For example, W3C is another example. The Web Standard Organization, and before that, then you have the Unix RFC. That's all, in my opinion, not good. So anyway, a little bit digression. Let's go back to what we are talking about. So this is what Unicode consortium say about this issue. Okay, so far we covered, that's the technical aspect. That's what the Unicode spec says what should be. But in practice, in reality, nothing. Nobody does this. Okay. So according to the Unicode consortium, if you want a symbol to be represented as a symbol and not emoji, you add a invisible character variation 15 behind after it. And if you want to be displayed as emoji, you add this character behind it, invisible character. Nobody, very few people do that. But however, even if you follow the Unicode consortium way, it doesn't work. Okay, I can actually show you right now. Yeah, it takes some time to show because I need to actually type this character. That's how difficult it is. Okay, so let me first of all show you this page. Okay, so now let's try to add this invisible character. Okay, so one of the invisible character is this one. Okay, let me see if I can add it here. Hold on a second. Show empty space. Do it. There it is. Okay, so let's copy that. Okay, copy that. So paste it here. Let's remove the class. Okay, so this one is supposed to be displayed as symbol. Okay, and this one is supposed to be displayed as emoji. Okay, and how? Because we copy this invisible symbol. Let's magnify. Okay, so you can actually see. So there is this invisible character FE0E. So we cut it, we paste it here right after that Unicode. So it should force this Unicode to be displayed as a symbol. Okay. Now for the other one. So let's copy that. So for this one, let's put this character. Let's do it. So how did I do it? I just converted a hexadecimal. Notation to the actual Unicode. How do I do that? How did I do that? That's from a XOR Emacs mod. Okay. So here's the source code. Go to the bottom 1,000 lines of code, and here is the URL. You can go and you can buy it. So this is an Emacs package that allows you to type many of the Unicode. So you can type a Unicode by a shortcut, or you can type a Unicode by converting from decimal or hexadecimal of the Unicode's ID code point. Okay, so that is the Emacs XOR input mod. Okay, so close that. Let's go to talk show. Let's add the link so we have a record of what we talked about. Okay, now back to this. Okay, so now we did that. Okay, now let's put this here. Let's make a list. Okay, now show in browser. So you can see we followed the Unicode consortium spec. So it didn't work. You see, this symbol now is still displayed as emoji. I mean, it's not displayed as emoji. Both of them are displayed as a symbol. It doesn't work. Okay. Same thing. If you post this on Twitter or Discord, it doesn't work. No, essentially, in practice, nobody respect this Unicode specification. It's because it's one fucked up, complexity. Nobody follows it. So it's a very bad specification. The Unicode people made a mistake with this kind of thing. Okay, so that is about this issue. Unicode symbol become emoji. So we have covered that. So, and we have talked about what is the issue, and we also talked about what does Unicode specification say, how it should be. Very complex, okay? So now let me talk about what is actually happening in practice. In practice, whether a character is displayed as a symbol or as a emoji, it just depends on the font, which font you are using, and that's also very complex. For example, we have shown here, let's remove the space, display of space. Okay, so for example, we have this, the symbol class, whenever something is symbol class, we use Circle UI symbol or Apple symbol as the font. Okay, then whenever you have emoji, we use emoji font. So that actually works. So that's the most important. That's so if this is what happens in reality, in real world, this is in practice. Okay, so if you are writing a website, a blog, this is what you want to do. When you want a symbol to be displayed as a symbol, you use the symbol font. Specify a symbol font. Now that's one aspect of what happens in practice. So what about on Twitter, for example? On Twitter, so let's go to Twitter. Let's go to some profile, what I posted. So on Twitter, let's say I want to tweet something new. So on Twitter, you are not allowed to specify what font it is. You just paste it. You see, it shows. It just shows as a emoji already. So if you post it, let's see. Okay, so actually, let me post it following this my talk show announcement. Wait, not that one. That's yesterday. So today. Yeah, so reply to that, paste it here, tweet, okay, and click on that, open that. You see, it shows us emoji. So in practice, what actually happens with Twitter or Facebook or Discord, most of these platforms, is that whenever you have a character, okay, so let's go to the page. Whenever you have one of these characters, that according to the Unicode that can be both symbol or emoji, on Twitter they will always just show it as emoji, period. They will just do that, but actually not all of them. It's like so this is why it's the completely fucked up. It's completely unpredictable, because for some characters, I'm pretty sure Twitter does not show them as emoji. For example, let me do this. Okay, so let's switch to the symbol font. So for example, let's paste some of these. Okay, all these can be both emoji and or symbol, but according to Unicode, by default they should be text. So if we go to Twitter, reply, paste, show. Okay, you can see some of them are displayed as text, as not emoji. Okay, that is a problem. So it becomes completely unpredictable. It's a huge mess. But anyway, back to if you are writing a blog or documentation, the best way to control this is via font. Okay, just specify a font for it. Okay, that concludes part of the talk. Now let's do some JavaScript. What I want to do is to, you see this button, show us emoji, show us symbol. What they do is that they actually change the, they modify the JavaScript, modify the class name. So they basically switch the font specification. So I want to write that function to, for example, here. So let me show you how to do that, okay? So let me show you, okay, so yeah, so let me show you how to do that. Create a new page, save as access date, emoji, okay? Let's say HTML, okay? Now, insert a template. This is XAR HTML mod on my website. You can pay me to get it for Emacs. So, let's say test emoji, okay? Now, let's just copy a bunch of these here. Paste it here. So we don't want the, this font become, these first two emoji is very interesting because they are the very first emoji. They came from emoticon we talked about yesterday. Any comments, questions? Nobody? Okay. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. So I want to. So I want to write an application that changes emoji, changes the font specification. So okay, so let's do let's just say that, okay? Let's just say that class equals to X. Okay, what? Okay, just a class name. Then here, style, a class, font. Let's not say anything. Okay, so here, I don't even need class. Let's do nothing. Okay, show in browser. Okay, so I need to make it large. XAR CSS mod, magnify, font size, okay, 30 pixels, okay, cut, paste it here, show in browser, fantastic. Let's say 40 pixels, show in browser, fantastic. Now we need to add a button, okay? Let's say use symbol font, okay? So this here is one button. Okay, and shrink, and another button. Okay, add them, show in browser. So we got two buttons, use symbol font, use emoji font. Right now they don't have any action. So now we are going to tie an action to them. So JavaScript. So copy the file path. We are going to add this JavaScript, create this JavaScript file, okay? So first of all, link it, okay? Then press enter. It'll ask me, it'll say file doesn't exist, create it, yes, okay? So here is the JavaScript. Now let's go back. Let's see what is ID, okay? So document, get element by ID, okay? and that ID is that. Okay, constant. Let's do this constant that shrink. Okay, so that's one, and the other one is, so we got two buttons here. Okay, so now elements. Okay, we got the element button. Now we need to add event. Okay, so add event listener. Okay, add event listener. Click. So when people click on that element, you call a function. Set symbol font. Okay, call that function. Okay, and add another event. So button emoji is a HTML element. Call the method add event listener. So when that event, when people click on that, you want call the function. Okay, call this function. So now we need to define the function. Okay, so why don't we define the function in front? Okay, so constant arrow function. So here we define a constant f set symbol font. Okay, so here we want to set the font. So how do you write the function? So when user click it, you want, okay, so here is the argument, which is event. Then here is what to do. Okay, so when people click on that, you want to select. You want to select. Let's give it this an ID. Okay, so let's say ID. Okay, so this ID there. Okay, so that's syntax for CSS for specifying that this any element with this ID using the pound sign as a, that's a syntax to mean ID. So if an element has that ID, then font size 40. So that is that. So now this element, this paragraph element, has the ID that. Okay, so now we say get element by ID. Okay, so we get that element and we need a document get element by ID. So once we get that element, we say, okay, here's, so constant element, then this element dot style equals true. Okay, now we need to specify font family. Now, how do you spell circle UI? So circle UI. So let's just say that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here is the JavaScript. Now let's reformat the whole. Let's show the pink window. Call it. That's it. Format it. Okay, now we need another function to change to emoji font. So what is what is font name for emoji? There, circle UI emoji. Since I'm on Microsoft Windows, I don't need to worry about Apple for now. Just demonstrate this. Okay, so this is the JavaScript code. I think it should work. So in summary, we get the element of the buttons here, these two buttons. Okay, then we define two functions. When it's the function will first of all grab this element by ID, then basically set the style attribute to be font family circle UI symbol. Similarly for the other function. And then we add the event to the button. So when the buttons are clicked, these functions will be called. Okay, so let's close this, showing browser again, refresh. Now let's see if it works. Use symbol font, click, fantastic. Use emoji font, click, fantastic. Okay, so this is what we set out to do, and the demonstration that works fantastic. I think that's it for today. Nobody is here. Okay, fantastic. Any questions? Any comments? I think let's let that just be it. That's it for today. We talked for 47 minutes, about 45 minutes already. So any questions? Okay, no questions. We're gonna shut down in 2 minutes. Okay, we're gonna shut down in 2 minutes. So today we talked about the emoji versus symbols issue and a little bit JavaScript. So you see a little bit JavaScript. So you guys, if you are learning JavaScript, let me show you just search for JavaScript tutorial. Okay, JavaScript in depth. That guy took over my website. So this is my website, JavaScript in depth. So this is a complete tutorial and reference on JavaScript, and also including DOM. So if you like my stuff, buy it. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.